listening to the Exitology Unlock Your Profits, Unlock Your Potential show on the #1 global business talk and radio news network on the internet, IBGR, International Business Growth Radio. The world of business at your fingertips. I am Jason Wally Waldron, the secret weapon behind owners, founders, and CEOs of blue-collar and industrial companies who apply Exitology to grow faster and maximize the value of their business. When these business owners feel trapped in their businesses, we apply Exitology so you can buy back your time and freedom. I am your host for today's show. This season, we will be discussing proven strategies to accelerate business growth. After all, business growth is the foundation of a successful exit. So forget the endless treadmill of hustle and grind hoping one day you'll retire. There is no need to throw the best years of your life away enslaved to your business. What if you could triple the value of your business and discover your path to freedom by making a few small changes over the next 6 months? With Exitology, you can. You can position your company for a lucrative sale, hand down your company as a legacy to your family, or through an ESOP, create a passive income stream with the business you already own, and regain your time and freedom. My hope for each of you, as you listen to this, is that you'll discover how to take your business to new heights and set yourself up for the exit that you desire. Ready? It's time to unlock your profits and unlock your potential. Be sure to visit exitology.com and download the show notes. Today, we're exploring how to let the gold come to you. You'll want to listen to the next 4 episodes because the statistics for a business owner who wants to succeed in growing and exiting his or her business are pretty dire. In fact, it's more like 1 out of 40 will actually get to the promised land. However, there are many steps you can take to help increase your chances of success. This week's theme is let the gold come to you. For all of recorded history, gold has been the most precious of metals, and it continues to be relevant today, both as a fact and as a metaphor. You know, gold is highly prized not only for its natural beauty, but for its rarity, its usefulness, its versatility, and it can be found in almost every sphere of modern life. You know, it's used as jewelry. It's kept safe away as bullion, whether in banks, whether as reserves behind currencies, or even just stashed in people's mattresses for a rainy day. You know, it's used in all sorts of different electronic fields, but for our purposes, it's a metaphor. Gold is a metaphor for your wealth. And statistics show that privately owned businesses and the owners who own them have 80% of their net worth tied up in their business. And so, knowing that you can win the game of business means that you can unlock that 80% of your net worth. And so, in this week's episode, we're going to use the history of gold mining and the wealth created from it as a lens from which to talk about how to build your business for an exit. Go on a journey with me for a moment, back to 1859. On a small creek in the mountains west of Denver, Colorado, a man named George Andrew Jackson shivered in the cold high country air. As he ambled down towards a small bubbling creek, he whipped out a metal drinking cup. He filled it with soil and rocks, and he began to swirl the contents of the water and soil. What was he doing? He was panning for gold. Before long, he managed to discover valuable gold nuggets. And within a few short years, the empty valley where he originally stood became a bustling mountain town called Idaho Springs. Even today, you can visit and eat in restaurants located in old brick buildings that were built during the gold rush. You go there in the summertime and families continue to raise their kids in classic Victorian houses from this area. Go there in the wintertime and you can look around and it still seems as if George himself is about to walk in after a hard day of prospecting. Well, when word got out that there was gold in them hills, prospectors, hungry for riches, quickly arrived and worked day and night to sift through the creeks and harvest their bounty of gold flakes and nuggets. The creeks, they quickly ran out of gold. And the flood of prospectors continued unabated, looking for more. With their eyes shining as bright as the precious metal they sought, well, they were a hardy and persistent bunch. So they started to pick, dig, and tunnel their way deep into the mountainsides. These prospectors, these miners, fighting their way into the granite, they worked 18-hour days. These miners would dig miles deep into the side of a mountain, sometimes cutting down entire forests, while bringing out cartload after cartload of rock. They would use picks, axes, explosives, anything they could to keep moving deeper and deeper into the earth. Finally emerging from the dark, each cartload of rock was then processed with water, with chemicals, while the hopeful and persistent miner waited to see how big his payoff, if there even was one, would be. While everyone was doing this, another group of people were working in a very different manner. They weren't working 18-hour long days. They were part of the gold mining effort, and an important one. But they weren't spending their days deep in a mine, covered in rock and dust, slowly suffocating from the crystalline silica dust that caused miners' lung. No. Instead, while the prospectors were working harder and harder, these investors, these owners, these business owners, they enjoyed consistent, steady, and sometimes even rising profits. These business people set up a giant processing plant next to the river, and that plant was fed through various tunnels, by water, and the hard work of the laborers, the miners. Through the processing, the gold was sorted through the rock, and each party took their cut. This is how the great state of Colorado was established and built. These people, they created the gold mills. They didn't do any of the digging themselves. Instead, they let the gold come to them. The reason I tell you this story is because even today, we are facing a similar situation. Without even knowing it, too many business people are choosing to remain stuck in the mines, slaving for long hours, exhausting themselves with labor. A select few, however, are stepping into the sunshine of a better idea and allowing their own creativity to bring forth freedom and prosperity into their life. The choice is yours. You can choose to be the gold digger, the miner, endlessly pivoting and hustling towards that next vein of gold, wondering which piece of rock to dig into next, with a small chance to strike it rich. Or you can choose to be the golden miller and continually add value to everybody as you touch and refine your systems and grow steadily, organically, safely, and rapidly. Now let's think about this for a minute. Both the gold digger and the gold miller created a lot of value. But here's the thing. The last time I drove through Idaho Springs, Colorado, the mighty Argo Gold Mill was still standing and creating value, as it happens to be these days as an attraction and a cornerstone of the community. While the gold miners, well, they've since moved on. So I ask you, which will you choose to be? The gold panner? That person endlessly seeking that next very, very remote adventure that might help you strike it rich? The gold miner? That person who's just digging, exhausting himself? Or maybe the gold miller? That person who is adding value to everybody around him and creating not just a business that works for the person today, but something that can morph and evolve into something that's still valuable hundreds of years later. in this case 150 years later. Well, the business owner who will exit his or her business, the one who creates transferable value, those are the gold millers. They let the gold come to them. So let the gold come to you, right? Build an asset. Leave a legacy. The cornerstone of our philosophy here, cornerstone of Exitology, is to give you the tools and the perspective to allow your business to grow in a rapid, healthy, sustainable way. And so as we talk about strategies that work to build businesses, as we sometimes share things that seem counterintuitive but have worked, ultimately I want you to know that everything that we do around here is designed to allow the gold to come to you. In fact, it's to empower you to become the gold miller. So, if it all starts with the discovery of the gold panner, the real journey begins when we evolve from gold panner, with that initial spark of discovery, into a gold miner who takes something that is proven and works it again and again and again, and then evolve into a gold miller who is working smarter, not harder, and then into the larger journey of legacy and multi-generational impact and wealth. During the remainder of today's episode, we'll explore what it means to play some of these roles, and while they're a metaphor for whatever your true role in your business is, they're all real roles, and they have been played by real human beings just like you over the course of recent history. And so, for now, what I would invite you to do, simply imagine, what would my business look like if I let the gold come to me? What would my business look like if the dividends of my life work were showing up day by day? We're now going to take a short 2-minute break. When we return, we will discuss the gold miner and what he has to do with today's business person. If you have questions about today's topic, please visit Exitology.com and click Contact Us. Send us your question and we will answer it on an upcoming episode. You're listening to Exitology on the International Business Growth Radio Network.